we are now in a park, garden, kind of at the temple, Hindu temple. Some beautiful things here as well too. So we're going to keep on recording verse by verse, but one verse per time at a place, because there's quite a number of beautiful places here. John chapter 13, verse 2. During supper, when the devil had already put it into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hand, and had come from God and was going back to God, rose from supper. He laid aside his outer garments, and taking a towel, they tied it around his waist. Okay, it's actually 3 verses. So let's quickly look at these 3 verses. So it just puts us into the context of the feet washing. How is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? So it's during the supper, what had already happened. The devil already laid it into the heart of Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon, to betray him. We've seen in the previous chapter how it all happened. So who laid it into his heart? The devil or Simon? Well, ultimately Simon, son of Simon, that's Judas Iscariot. Judas himself. Why? Because he saw and he was like, no, anger. And the devil, like Pharaoh before, right? He hardened his heart, and then God just hardened it more. So in the same sense, Judas, after seeing that, no, we need to sin. Sin is him. He's a son of the devil, right? You're children of the devil kind of idea. So all of that just fits into it. So I just want to get at the concept of, did the devil force him to do this or anything like this? No, the devil just used what he wanted to do, what Jesus wanted to do, right? And at that stage, I think Jesus knew everything, right? He has said it a number of times. And then we see in verse 3 that he knew God has given, the Father has given all things into his hands, and that who he is, and he came from God, and it is going back to God, right? All these things Jesus knows. He's been teaching it clearly to all the people around him. He was not hiding anything. This is not hidden knowledge. This is not Gnosticism. This is clear, plain, simple, and it's been doing all the time. He knows. They didn't know. The others didn't know. But he knew always. So then what happened? So with Judas ready to betray him, Jesus knowing the time is here, he's going back home, where he's coming from and where he's going, he rose from the supper. He laid aside his outer garments, and he took a towel and he tied it around his waist. So in other words, he made himself, he got ready for the feet washing that is going to follow. Tied the towel, took off the clothes, outer garments, tied the towel. He's ready for the next thing to do. John chapter 13, verse 5. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet and to wipe them with a towel that was wrapped around him. Okay, so the next step, after taking off his outer garments, after tying the towel around his waist, after all the normal preparation work, and I'm pretty sure that the disciples were a little bit confused about what's going on here. So if you put yourself in their shoes, right? It's like, but Jesus is the Messiah. Jesus is our rabbi. He's our leader. And what is he doing? He's taking off his clothes. He's putting a towel. Now that is what the servant even kind of wouldn't want to do. And and now he's pouring water into a basin. This clearly seems as if he's going to wash something here. Okay? And then he started washing the feet. They must have been shocked, totally out of this world shocked. This is not how it works, right? This is how, if most pastors on this planet or Christian leaders would suddenly start washing. Now I know in the Roman Catholic Church they do this thing, the Pope even wash people's feet kind of idea. They turned it into not what Jesus intended it ultimately to be. But this is not what you expect, right? I mean, just imagine Donald Trump is now going to get ready and wash the feet of the people around him. It's just, that's never going to happen, right? Like never ever going to happen, like never ever. Okay? And but this is what Jesus is doing, and Jesus is not just a president of a country, he is God-man. So it must have been totally, I can't stress it enough, mind-blowing for the disciples what he's doing now, right? Washing their feet, wiping their feet. This doesn't happen. This is not cultural. That's not correct. Right? But this is what Jesus did. So again, put yourselves into that situation. That table was just everything. Mind-blowing. John chapter 13, verse 6. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, Lord, do you wash my feet? So here we have Peter, the good old Peter, and Jesus comes to him. He washed all the others now. He saw that he is washing their feet. Now Jesus comes to him and he just indignant question, right? You wash my feet? Right? This is who Peter is. So what is Jesus going to do? Was Jesus going to say, no, Peter, your feet, no way. I mean, they stink too much. No, he's not going to say any of that. He's going to say something different. So we'll move to a different spot. We'll see ultimately what Jesus is going to do. Verse 7, Jesus answered him, what I am doing you do not understand now, but afterward you will understand. So back we are to this question of understanding. So Jesus is telling clearly to Peter, you don't understand what I'm doing now at the moment. Afterwards, you will understand, right? There's still things that even now at this late stage of everything that's happening that they don't understand. John is making it clear that Jesus is telling Peter, Jesus knows that Peter's not understanding even at that late stage. So how much more ultimately the people outside this group of disciples would not have understood. Okay, so again, John is like claiming and showing to them that we didn't understand then and there yet. So what you did, yes, it was wrong, but it's kind of understandable. But now, after everything is said and done, you don't have an excuse anymore. What's going to be your reaction now? And unluckily, we know what was the reaction. They kept on not believing.